Hello, my friends, and welcome to Sports Talk 911 with L. Green. Tonight we have a very special report. We're doing a sports investigation of the WNBA. Recently, Nafesia Collier from the Minnesota Timberwolves came out and shared her views and thoughts of what she thought about the commissioner of the WNBA, Kathy. I wanted to make sure I didn't mess the lady name up. Kathy Engelbert. Kathy Engelbert, who is the commissioner of the WNBA. October 31st is the end of the contract that's in place right now for the WNBA. And they're in the middle of renegotiating the contract. So they're having contract talks. The players want more money. They feel they deserve more money. They have seen the growth of the WNBA, and they feel as though they should also be compensated more than what they are being compensated for. So I wanted to just do a little bit of investigation. We did a special investigation on trying to find some information about the WNBA because there's a lot of people that did not follow the WNBA until recently. So I wanted to just bring you some information to try to help you come up to speed here. So I have some notes, or as the kids like to say, I have some receipts. Okay. So the WNBA was announced on April the 24th, 1996. Their whole slogan was, "We got next." The first season of the WNBA began on June the 21st, 1997. The first game of the WNBA was also played that time. And it was between the New York Liberty and the LA Sparks. A lot of folks throughout the years, they've been hearing that the WNBA is losing money every year. It's losing money every year. So I said, well, why would somebody have a business or organization that they keep pouring money into and they keep losing money? In 2018, Adam Silver, who is the commissioner of the NBA, said that the WNBA loses about $10 million a year. The average salary in 1997 that was reported was around $64,611. That was on one of the reports. I don't know if that's correct or not, but that's what it was reported. The average salary today in 2025 for most players is around, as they say, 102. I think if you played 2 years or more, it's around $102,000. The NBA makes, according to some reports, around $200 million a year. Now, each team is valued at today 2025, $226 million. The value of the NBA, not the NBA, I'm sorry, the value of the WNBA as of 2025 has been reported is around $3.5 billion. And who receives some credit to help elevate the WNBA to that level? First, of course, the players, but also Kathy Engelbert. Now, she helped negotiate that deal that helped elevate the WNBA to what it is today. So I said, who is this Kathy Engelbert? What's her deal? Or where did she come from? So I did a little bit of investigation on my own. Kathy Engelbert is a business person. She's an accountant. She was an accountant. She was a business rep, but she's a business lady. She's a businesswoman. She know her numbers. And she worked for this company called Deloitte for 33 years before she came to the WNBA. Her salary back then was $3 million a year that she earned before she left. She was in, if I'm correct, she came to the WNBA in 2018 or 2019, one of those years from that job. So one of the things that I've heard players was talking about, they were trying to also find out some information. They said, hey, you know what? We don't even know what she's making. We only know what she was making from the company that she was at before she came to the WNBA. If you Google WNBA commissioner salary, it doesn't tell you what she makes. Only she and whoever's involved in the WNBA and the NBA knows what her salary is. Why her salary isn't shown? But let me tell you something else. Hold on. I have some more receipts. Now, not David Stern, that's the old commissioner I'm talking about. God rest his soul. But Adam Silver, if you Google his salary, it will say where you at, Adam? Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me do this real quick here because I want to make sure I get this right. And Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, if you Google his salary, it will tell you. Look at there. I just Googled it. Adam Silver, plain as day. It says $10 million annually. Now, he's the commissioner of the NBA. Now, watch this. I'm going to try for the 10th time okay. This is amazing. Now, they just had this whole big blow up in the WNBA about nobody being able to find this lady's salary. I kid you not. I Googled what the WNBA commissioner's salary was just now. Before I put it in and I Googled WNBA commissioner's salary. 1, 2, 3 days ago, when I was doing my research, it did not show up. It was telling me something totally different. It was giving me, basically saying, it did not give me a figure about her salary. It wouldn't let you know about her salary. I just did it just now. And wow, it's amazing, since all of this stuff comes out about people wanting her to be gone, removed, that she doesn't communicate with the players. All of a sudden now, her salary has magically appeared out of nowhere today, this day. It says she makes around $1 million annually. Let me tell you what Google says. The WNBA commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, has a salary of around $1 million annually in 2025, excluding bonuses and performance-based incentives. See, that's the tricky part. Bonuses and performance incentives. Her net worth is estimated to be around $5 million, which reflects her multi-million-dollar salary as commissioner and previous corporate career. Come on, man. Who y'all think y'all kidding with this? She knows somebody. There is no way in the world that this woman leaves a job in 2018 or 2019. It is 2025 right now. 2025. She was making, in 2018, $3 million a year from her last job. Assume that she was making something like that. That's what was reported. And she is now, in 2025, making $1 million a year. Come on, man. Okay. I might have been born at night, but I wasn't born last night or tonight. Okay. So, basically, just to kind of give you guys a breakdown, who owns the WNBA? That was one of my viewers' question as I was doing something. But who owns the WNBA? This is how it's broken down. The NBA owns 42% of the WNBA. The WNBA team owners own 42% of the WNBA. The other 16% is owned by private investors. There's 12 teams in the WNBA. And like I said before, each team is valued. Each team is valued today at $226 million. The highest paid player in the NBA is in the WNBA. Allegedly is Asia Wilson from the Las Vegas Aces, who is reported makes about $1.6 million. The second is Breanna Stewart from the New York Liberty, who makes around $1.5 million. Everybody else have a range anywhere from $50,000 or $60,000 on up, depending on how many years you played and how much experience, I'm sure. It's supposed to expand to it's supposed to expand in a few more years up to 18 teams. They had another team that was added this year, was the Golden State Valkyries. And that's where the Golden State Warriors, of course, play. And that team was estimated to make this year $70 million. So a lot of the players is looking at all this money that's coming into the WNBA. Before Caitlin and Angel Reese came to the WNBA, it wasn't as popular as it is today. Those are just the facts. It was another it was just another sport that if you were a fan of basketball and a fan of certain players that you watch, you supported the WNBA. A lot of the top players came from UConn because UConn had the best teams. So you got a chance to see, it was almost like UConn was a, developmental program for the WNBA, because the top players, the majority, not all, but the majority of the top players came from UConn. Those are just the facts. But a lot of these ladies, they used to have to go overseas to make a decent living, to make generational, life-changing money before they start having options here within the last few years, where if you had a family, you would have to leave. You played in the league, the WNBA, and then during the time that the WNBA wasn't playing, there were players getting offers of anywhere between $500,000 to over $1 million to go play overseas, like Russia, China, Japan, Germany, all these other places that if you wanted to make a decent living, some serious money, and you're doing what you love, you just had to do it over in another country to get paid that kind of money, which is crazy considering how popular how big the United States is and how popular the WNBA was. So at this point, everything have changed. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese was major headliners coming out of college. They were major headliners in college. And I'll say this here. Personally, I knew about the WNBA. I love sports, okay? I knew about the WNBA, but it wasn't something that I couldn't wait to see. If I'm watching TV, I see certain players that I recognize or that I knew, I will watch. because I heard about those players. Either I saw them in college or I saw them on ESPN, who, by the way, I like to thank for their support. And it wasn't as popular as it is today. Okay. I started really getting into the WNBA when, and I'll say this, Dawn Staley, who coaches the college basketball team, the South Carolina South Carolina, her team, and what she's done for women's college basketball definitely should be recognized, because I wasn't even checking for the WNBA or the college women's basketball until I really started watching what the South Carolina girls basketball team was doing. I'm like, whoa, hold on. They're playing some really good basketball. Not only that, but they have some great players that she's establishing. And it drew my interest. I started watching the game, started watching the players, start learning the players in college. Heard about Angel Reese. I heard about Asia Wilson. Heard about Aaliyah Boston. There's a lot of like right now you have Juju Watkins. You also had Paige Buckets. Buckner. Look. The ladies in college basketball, also in the WNBA pro basketball, are absolutely wonderful players. I love the game. I can't wait till this year starts in college, because I'm looking forward to what they're going to bring to the table. But shout out to Juju. Hopefully, I can't wait till you get back on the court. We can't wait to see you. But these ladies have made the game even more popular because they play great basketball. It's entertaining. I love it myself. So not only do I love it, but there's a lot of people that love it. Caitlin Clark, she moved the needle in a major way. She had every game of her, she was selling out crazy. Every game of, I forgot what team it was, Iowa or Indiana, Iowa. I think it was Iowa that she was playing for. And every team game, whether it was on the road or at home, was sold out. She brought that fan base, and when she played against LSU and Angel Reese, and LSU had a squad out of this world with Angel Reese, and they had the whole thing going back and forth, back and forth. They had people out here saying, "Hold up, wait a minute." They reminded a lot of people of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird had a college rivalry, and they brought that whole thing to the NBA at the time. Angel Reese and Caitlin had that same type of rivalry in college, and when they got drafted, they brought that whole rivalry to the WNBA. People started watching the game even more. The game started growing. Angel Reese, people was interested in what she was going to do. A lot of the players that played on those teams also brought a lot of eyeballs, because if you followed women's basketball. I'm gonna tell you something, man. During the March Madness, I couldn't name in college unless, and I'm not one of these people that there's some fans, some like sports just fanatics. They know everything. I'm not going to say I know everything about every sport, but I knew more women basketball players in college than I knew on the men's basketball side of college. In my own personal opinion, their games was better. It was more exciting. I started knowing all the players. You know, the young lady played for Notre Dame. You had Texas. I forgot her name. You had UCLA. You have South Carolina. You have UConn. You had LSU. And I apologize if I missed some of the schools, but you know who I'm talking about. These are the schools that bring the eyeballs to college basketball. You know, they're the headliners. Then those same players, when they got drafted, I watched the draft for the WNBA. I'm not even going to front. I never, ever watched the WNBA draft until Angel Reese and Caitlin. Now I know some of the players. You know, I know Rickea Jackson. She's playing with the LA Sparks. She's a wonderful player. I know Aaliyah Boston played for South Carolina. I know a lot of them that's playing for, you know, Satu. You know what? The young lady that plays for Phoenix, Mercury, Satu. You know, I'm gonna leave that one alone. I apologize to you. I tried to say your name, but I messed that one up. So I'm gonna leave that alone until I really get it. But what I'm trying to say, the WNBA is a wonderful, growing franchise company, whatever you want to call it. And these ladies want to be paid. They understand what it is. If you're the WNBA commissioner and you're looking down and talking down allegedly to your players, you're saying they should be on their hands and knees and happy to have a platform like the WNBA to say what you allegedly have said about some of the players. I don't think you know who you talking to, lady. And these ladies have families. They have supporters. You may be the commissioner today, but we all know they don't want you to be their commissioner. They don't want Kathy Engelbert to be their commissioner because they don't see eye to eye. And I don't feel like they feel as though she benefits their financial. She doesn't benefit them financially. She makes some great deals for the league, but what about the players? It's not just about the owners or the investors. It's about making sure your players, because if the players are not happy, if the players don't feel as though they're appreciated, you have no WNBA. So, do whatever you need to do to make sure these ladies are appreciated, because they're queens on the court and off the court. So they should be recognized as if. So, until next time, my friends, thank you for joining me. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. My name is L Green. Please click, follow, and subscribe. Thank you for joining Sports Talk 911 special investigation into the WNBA. Thank you.